In the last video, we looked at how to find the transformations that had taken place when we were given graphs. Now I'm going to make it a little bit tougher. And the way I'm going to do that is ask you to find transformations given equations. Now, I say I make it tougher, but we've already learned in the previous unit that if you want to talk about an equation, just make it a picture and then we can have a discussion about it. So I'm going to take that same mentality when it comes to doing transformations. I'm going to type my equations in. It's extremely important here that you type your equation in correctly. If not, your transformations are going to be off. Okay. Now, again, like I said in the last video, the first thing I want to do is locate my vertex or like a key spot. Now, Desmos to do this for us, right? So -1, 0. So f of x at -1, 0, and then g of x is at, so I'm going to hide f of x. I'm going to make g of x pop up, and remember, I get the dot there when I click on the equation. It's at -1, 4. So I then actually plot these points. I'm going to change this color to red because it went with my red graph or f of x. -1, 4, I'm going to make blue because it went to my blue graph. Now, again, how can I go or describe how to go from my red dot, or f of x in this case, to the blue dot, g of x? So I don't go left, I don't go right. So horizontal shift did not occur, or NA. Then again, red to blue, I went up. How many did I go up? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm scaling by 1. So I went up 4. Okay. Once I do that, I'm now done with my vertex, and I want to talk about the shapes of the graph. So red was a U, and it became an N. So these are different shapes, therefore there was a reflection. If these would have both been U or both been N looking shapes, then a reflection would not have occurred. And then last but not least, am I going skinny to wide or wide to skinny? And again, I'm starting with f of x, which is red. Now, if I look and if I zoom out, I can clearly see that red is my wide graph. So red is my wide, skinny is blue. What do I start with? F of x to g of x. So I'm going wide to skinny. Therefore, I have a stretch. Okay. Now, once you, and that's the way I do equations 99.9% of the time. Oh. And then again, this is was a quadratic. Again, name, not 100% important. However, it does help you with finding your vertex. or knowing where your vertex should be at. So something you can do, right, if you practice these a lot, I give y'all the flow map A x minus h plus k. You can come through here, you can highlight your A values, right? Your A values are on the outside of your operator. Your H values are inside. And then your K values are on the outside. And then based off of how these change, you can know your transformations. Again, so A went from 4 to 1/4. Well, therefore it got smaller. So there was a compression. Now, by how much? We're going to multiply only for stretches and compressions. So 4x equals 1/4. Divide by 4 to both sides. X equals 1/16. So it was compressed by 16. You always take the denominator by the compression factor. All right, so that was A, or finding A. Now, all of my stuff for H. It's inside the operator. So I want to write +1, but I see it's the opposite sign of what I think. So from -1 to -5, again, the opposite of what I think. +5. H is horizontal. So how do I get from -1 to 5 on a number line? Well, I go to the right 6. And this is my horizontal shift to the right 6. And then last but not least, my K value started at 2 and became, I don't have a K value, right? It will be separated by an addition side outside of the operator. So it went from 2 to 0. Right, if it's not there, imagine it's okay to put a 0. Well, if I want to go from 2 to 0 vertically on a number line, I would go down 2. And this is my K value. And again, went down by 2. Again, guys, you can always graph these just to make sure. And then if I look at my A value, positive to positive, so no reflection occurred. And I see the absolute value symbol, so absolute value. Again, I've done a couple hundred of these problems, and I do more every year when I teach it. Again, just take your time, put it in Desmos, and double check yourself.